The whispers about Caitlin Clark being targeted are no longer whispers. They've grown into alarms and now sirens. For months, fans claimed that something was wrong. Clips went viral showing Clark slammed to the floor, shoved off screens, hacked in the paint, and left with no calls from officials. Every game, viewers watched in disbelief as her pain became public spectacle, yet league officials and even the commissioner brushed it off. Commentators argued that fans were exaggerating. The commissioner herself downplayed concerns. But what once felt like suspicion may now be confirmation, and what comes next could change the WNBA forever. This season, a bombshell audio leak emerged, and suddenly the narrative shifted. Kathy Engelberg, the WNBA commissioner, allegedly directed referees to treat Clark differently. If this recording is authentic, it proves something fans had long suspected. The league didn't just fail to protect its superstar, it actively put her in harm's way. The credibility of the WNBA, a league that has fought for recognition and respect, is now hanging by a thread. What was once dismissed as a conspiracy theory might now be undeniable proof of mismanagement at the very top. To understand the gravity of this, you need to know what Caitlin Clark represents. She isn't just an athlete. In just 2 years, she transformed the league's visibility. She pulled the WNBA out of the shadows, filling arenas and breaking attendance records. TV networks like ESPN and ABC cleared their schedules for her games, knowing they would draw record-breaking ratings. Her jerseys sold faster than manufacturers could produce them, and her marketability was unmatched. Nike invested heavily in her brand. Ticket brokers saw spikes whenever her team played on the road. Clark wasn't just a player. She was the gravitational center of the WNBA, the linchpin of its growth and public relevance. And yet, according to the leaked audio, instead of shielding her from harm, league leadership allegedly instructed referees to let her endure more punishment. Every drive, every shove, every fall may not have been just bad luck or unfortunate play. It may have been orchestrated. The WNBA, a league desperate for stars and recognition, could have been actively sabotaging the very player who was saving it. In the context of professional sports, this is staggering. Every successful league understands one fundamental principle: protect your stars, because they are the product and the future of your business. The NBA protected scorers like Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron. The NFL protects quarterbacks with strict roughing rules. Soccer leagues protect icons like Messi and Ronaldo. When fans pay to see greatness, leagues adapt rules to safeguard it. They don't tear it down. And yet the WNBA may have done precisely the opposite. Why would a league undermine its most valuable asset? The answer might lie in insecurity. The WNBA may have been terrified of becoming the Caitlin Clark League, of letting one player overshadow the collective narrative. Instead of embracing her dominance, they tried to moderate it. Instead of building around her, they allegedly attempted to chip her down. This isn't strategy. It's fear disguised as leadership. History provides a comparison. The NBA's Jordan rules in the 1980s were created by rival teams to stop Michael Jordan. That was competition-born brutality, not league-sanctioned sabotage. The NBA, in contrast, marketed Jordan aggressively, building an empire around him. The WNBA may have done the opposite, creating what could be called Clark rules, visible to anyone with eyes to see. The consequences extend far beyond the court. Clark has already had to shut down her season due to injuries. Fans originally thought these were just the unfortunate wear and tear of a high-level athlete. Now, with the leak, those injuries read differently. Were they merely bad luck? Or were they compounded by a system that allegedly directed referees to let her be battered repeatedly? Candace Parker's comments praising Clark for managing her health take on new significance, reading almost like a hidden warning. Don't sacrifice your career for a league that isn't protecting you. Corporate partners are watching closely. ESPN dedicated hours of programming to Clark. Nike invested millions, and other sponsors saw her as the centerpiece of the league's resurgence. Now, headlines suggesting deliberate targeting raise red flags. Companies hate instability and risk. If a league sabotages its own star, trust erodes instantly. Investors, advertisers, and sponsors may think twice before committing further. This isn't just a WNBA problem. It's a business crisis. Politically, the implications could be just as severe. Sports scandals, whether involving doping, gambling, civil rights, or labor disputes, have historically attracted congressional scrutiny. Complaints about fairness, discrimination, and race-based targeting already exist. Add a leaked recording allegedly showing the commissioner encouraging unfair treatment of a player, and the WNBA could be on the path to televised hearings, investigations, and public scrutiny that extends far beyond the court. Meanwhile, international opportunities beckon. European, Australian, and Chinese leagues would treat Clark like a VIP, offering salaries that could triple her WNBA pay and respecting her as a global brand. First-class travel, protected playing conditions, and a spotlight that enhances her career rather than endangers it, all of this is on the table. If Clark decides she's had enough, no one would blame her. At 23, with endorsements and generational wealth secured, she doesn't need to risk her body for a league that allegedly views her as a problem more than a prize. The WNBA now faces a stark choice. They could deny everything, dismiss the audio as fake, and spin fans back into silence. Or they could remove Kathy Engelberg and hope a change in leadership restores faith. Both options are flawed. Denial insults intelligence. Removal acknowledges wrongdoing without addressing systemic issues. Real corrective action would require deep cultural reform, independent officiating, public accountability, transparency about the league's past decisions, and a commitment to protecting players moving forward. History suggests, however, that the league rarely chooses hard truths over short-term PR fixes. This scandal feels fatal because of what Clark represents. She didn't just play in the WNBA. She saved it. She brought attention, revenue, and credibility. She delivered on every promise a league could hope for. And now, just 2 years in, she is being treated as a threat. A league that sabotages its savior cannot survive. You cannot strangle the golden goose and expect the eggs to keep coming. Fans are furious, sponsors are wary, and the political consequences loom large. The final question hangs in the air like a dagger. Does Kathy Engelberg resign, taking the fall, or is the WNBA already beyond saving? If Clark leaves, the league loses more than a star. It loses its foundation. The WNBA could go from a story of growth and innovation to a cautionary tale about self-destruction. The choice the league makes in the coming weeks will determine whether it survives or collapses, remembered not for its rise, but for the way it destroyed its own success. For fans, players, and investors alike, this is more than just a scandal. It's a reckoning. Caitlin Clark could have been the league's Michael Jordan, an icon who elevated the WNBA to unprecedented heights. Instead, she faces a system that may have sought to contain her brilliance out of fear, ego, or insecurity. Every replay, every highlight, every fan reaction now carries a new weight. This is a story of ambition, betrayal, and the thin line between leadership and sabotage. The WNBA must answer a simple but devastating question. Can it rebuild trust, restore credibility, and protect its stars? Or has it already passed the point of no return? Every decision from this moment on will shape not just the league's future, but the trajectory of women's professional basketball as a whole. Fans, sponsors, and players are watching, and the clock is ticking. Fans aren't just upset, they're enraged. Clips of Clark getting slammed, shoved, and hacked flooded social media for months, racking up millions of views. Every no call was dissected, debated, and shared. Hashtags trended, discussions ignited, and fan communities demanded answers. The WNBA tried to brush it off, calling concerns perception or overreaction, but the audience wasn't fooled. What was once dismissed as conspiracy talk has now become irrefutable evidence that the league's leadership may have been complicit in a system that endangered its biggest star. Every comment, every share, every clip was a collective call for accountability. And now, that call is louder than ever. The stakes go far beyond US borders. International leagues in Europe, Australia, and China are ready to welcome Clark with open arms, offering contracts that could triple her current salary and provide the respect and protection she deserves. She could become a global ambassador for women's basketball, building her brand without facing the risks allegedly orchestrated by the WNBA. The league's mishandling threatens not only its domestic credibility, but also its global reputation. If Clark walks away, the WNBA doesn't just lose a player, it loses its most valuable asset and risks collapsing the carefully cultivated momentum of the entire league. Sponsors, broadcasters, and fans would be left questioning whether investing in the WNBA is worth the risk. The question now isn't just about one season, it's about whether the league can survive the fallout from its own choices. If you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We post new videos every single day, keeping you up to date with the latest news, leaks,